There's a phrase that I've heard most of my life. I just want to be free. I've said it. You've probably said it. I understand it. We all want freedom. Freedom to make our own decisions. Freedom to pursue meaningful work. Freedom to spend more time with the people we love. Freedom to live according to our values. But here's something I've slowly realized. Freedom isn't something you find. It's something you build. And responsibility is the tool that you build it with. When I was younger, freedom meant having no one to tell me what to do. No schedule, no obligation, no limitations. If I wanted to sleep late, I could. If I wanted to spend money, I could. If I wanted to avoid difficult conversations, I could. And that felt like freedom. But looking back, it really wasn't. It was just the absence of structure. And structure is not the enemy of freedom. Sometimes it's the very thing that creates it. One of the biggest surprises in my life has been discovering that discipline actually creates options. Think about money. The person who consistently saves has more financial freedom later. The person who consistently learns has more career opportunities later. The person who consistently exercises often has more physical freedom later. In every area of life, responsibility today creates choices tomorrow. And irresponsibility usually does the opposite. It quietly reduces your options. Owning businesses taught me something I never expected. People often assume that entrepreneurs are free, but that's only partially true. Entrepreneurs trade one kind of responsibility for another. You become responsible for customers and employees, cash flow, reputation, decisions. Freedom is real, but it's supported by an enormous amount of responsibility. The more I thought about it, the more I realized that's true almost everywhere. It's something I noticed. Every responsibility that you avoid doesn't disappear. It usually becomes tomorrow's problem. Ignore your health, your future body pays the price. Ignore your finances, your future self inherits the stress. Ignore difficult conversations, relationships become more fragile. Ignore your learning, opportunities quietly disappear. Responsibility doesn't eliminate difficulty. It usually prevents much greater difficulty later. This has become one of the guiding ideas behind Black Logic Media. I'm not interested in simply helping people understand the world. I want us to become the kind of people who can carry freedom well. Because freedom without discipline often becomes chaos. Freedom without character often becomes selfishness. Freedom without responsibility rarely lasts long. And history teaches that lesson over and over again. Whenever I say I want something, I started asking myself another question. What responsibility comes with that? If I want a larger audience, am I prepared for greater accountability? If I want greater influence, am I prepared to steward it well? If I want greater freedom, am I developing the character necessary to sustain it? And those questions have changed the way I pursue almost everything. Here's something I would encourage you to think about. What's one area of your life where you want more freedom? Now, ask yourself this: what responsibility would make that freedom possible? Maybe it's budgeting, maybe it's learning, maybe it's discipline, maybe it's having difficult conversations that you've been avoiding. Freedom usually isn't waiting for us somewhere in the future. It's quietly growing. And it's growing inside the responsibilities that we're willing to accept today. I've come to believe that responsibility is not what limits freedom. It's what protects it. It's what expands it. It's what allows it to continue. And the more I've experienced life, the more convinced I've become that the freest people, at least that I know, are also the most responsible. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it's how reality works. Thanks for spending a little time with me, and I'll see you in the next conversation.